Okay, hi everyone. This is just a short video to show you some more tips for how you can make vector files in Blender, specifically things to use on the laser cutter. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I want my camera to be pointing straight down. So if I press N to bring up this menu here, the letter N for Nelson, I'll just delete the location and rotation data. And then I'll press G and Z and just lift it up on the Z axis, so it's looking straight down. The next thing I want to do is in the camera settings, switch from perspective to orthographic. And orthographic means that we're no longer seeing anything get smaller as it gets further away from us. So if we look in the animation window, we'll now see a perfect square. So that's nice. I'll show you again. In perspective, we'd see this, and actually if I rotate the cube, it's perspectival. Instead, if I click on the camera again, switch it back to orthographic. Okay, so now we can make something with this cube. But I just want to print a 2D object, but we can actually still leave it as a 3D cube. So what can we do? Maybe I'll make it a little bit flatter, and I'm going to cut a hole in it. So I'm going to add an icosphere. That's okay. Scale it down. Maybe I'll scale it on the Z-axis a little bit, and I'm going to cut this hole in our square. So I will, on the cube, I'm going to add a Boolean modifier. I might have to subdivide this cube a little bit first. I'm just going to press Tab and select all the faces with A and go subdivide. I'll do it one more time. Subdivide. Sometimes a Boolean doesn't work if you don't have any subdivisions already on the polygon. Okay, so on the cube, I'll just select the object of the Boolean modifier to the icosphere, and then I'll hide the original. Now I've got this kind of hole cut through it. You could use any shape. You could, do whatever you want. I'm just making some changes to the sphere. Maybe make it interesting, and maybe I'll rotate on the Z-axis the sphere a little. Okay, let's see what that did. Okay, cool. So there's our hole. Okay, the next thing I might do is maybe I will put some tabs on this. So I'm going to extrude, grab on the X, extrude E, click, G, X, drag, and maybe I'll do something here. E, click, G, X, grab. Okay, so this is the shape that I'm going to extrude as a vector, plus I want this hole. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this modifier, so that's done. And then I'm going to just select the edges that I want to be part of our vector drawing. So I'll go into edit mode, I'll press the number 2 to go into edge selection up here, and I'm going to grab these edges. Now if you press Control and then click the next edge, it's going to grab the shortest path, and that can be quite helpful. But if I do it too much, if I do it here, you can see that it's going to cut straight through, so we don't want that. So I'll just undo that. But you can use a combination of using Shift Select and Control Select. Nope, that was no good. To just get the path you want. And I just want this top border. I'm going to use Control Select there, Shift Select, Shift, Control. Okay, so I've got the outside edge. Now I'm going to right click, mark freestyle edge. So you can see that's gone green. So that's one of the edges that's going to turn up in our vector drawing. And I'm going to do the same. I think I should be able to shift select this entire loop here. Okay, great. Right click, mark freestyle edge. So hopefully now we should get, if I look in my top view, we should get a vector drawing that has these green lines essentially. So as I showed in the tutorial last week, to get your vector drawing, you have to have the Freestyle SVG plugin already enabled. And if you can't mark the freestyle edge, if you don't have this option, that's just because you haven't enabled the plugin. So to enable the plugin, edit preferences and just put in free and make sure that's ticked. Freestyle SVG exporter. Okay, so now let's just check our settings. So we've got the Freestyle SVG ticked, Freestyle ticked in the render properties. And now in the layer properties, I just want to go down and have a look at what we've got here. The only things that I want to look at are the edge marks. All of the other things I'm going to turn off. So that's good. And the final thing is I want to check our output, so where the SVG is going to go. And I've set it to my digital tools class and in my folder called vector files. So I'll accept that. Now if I hit render, render image. Okay, so I made a mistake. I didn't hide the icosphere. And so you can see my drawing's actually incomplete. So I stuffed up. Okay, so I hid the icosphere in the view tab, but but not in the render tab. All right, so I'm going to hide that as well. Let's render it again. See if that looks better. Okay, that's better. Okay, so we can see that heavy line. That's going to be our vector image. And if I go into Inkscape and close what I was working on, hold on. I think I've got some stuff still open in Inkscape. I just need to close that. Sorry. Just a second. Close this. Okay. Okay, so if we have a look at Inkscape, I should be able to just import that vector file I made. Let's have a look at it. Where would we be? Should be in... And it will be this one that I just made here. Open it up. Okay, and there's my vector. So then we've got plenty of other information in the Moodle in how to make, how to use the laser cutter. But I just wanted to show you this trick of using the orthographic camera, so we're looking straight down to get our shapes made. And also, I want to remind you that we can do things in quite a precise way using the scale and dimensions here. So we can have things kind of exactly the size we want. Okay, so that's it for this video.